very specific, I have seen some hopeful progress both with WIFDA and with KCRW. Um, I'm gonna hold on to those those trends for as long as I can. I do want to see more than just talk, and in both of those areas, it's getting to the point where it's not just talk. They're right about ready to start doing some action.
Yep.
And that actually kind of ties into my other point, which revisits a question you asked earlier about what is it that white folks can do. There needs to be more action, but don't be scared of the word action.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people think of action, they think of they think of screaming.
Yeah.
When they think of action, they think that they have to be out there on the front line, like Captain America and Thor and whatnot, battling Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great and fine too. I'm a Marvel person, but
well,
in fact,
I got my little Wonder Woman obsession. So. DC, but I get it.
but sometimes the actions that need to be done the most aren't going to be those get out there and pummel somebody into the ground type of actions. It can be something as simple as when someone says something that's racist, just saying, hold up,
Yeah.
time out. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Or even just saying ouch, which I know is a method that's been used to try to get a conversation to stop and redirect. Don't be afraid to tell someone, you might want to change how you think about that, or that's racist, or that's sexist, or that's homophobic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that person might react to that.
Yeah.
If you happen to be the person who is being called out on something, fight the urge to react to that. The person who is telling you that something is not right, they're giving you valuable information in the hope and the attempt to have you be better and do better.
Yeah.
For you to react to someone in the opposite, it shows that I'm going to go ahead and say it, shows that you don't recognize the faith that they have in you, and that at least in that moment, you're not worthy of the trust that they have placed in you to do better and be better. So you can't really be all that surprised if they do pull back in a way to protect themselves from further hurt, because you're not at a place to make the changes that need to be made in order for you as a person, and I say you being general, you, not you specifically, but you as a person,
Yeah.
or you as an organization, or you as a league, or you as a region, or you as a country, to make those changes to do better and be better than what you've ever done. Because if you're doing better, that helps you and everyone around you. If you're reacting towards the call to be better and do better, yeah, it keeps you intact, but it ends up hurting the person that is asking you to do better, and still has a ripple effect for other people around you. So yeah, you might be protecting yourself and keeping yourself safe, but what you're really doing is you're telling someone, I'm not there yet, and I don't think it's important for me to be there. So you keep that to yourself. You deal with that on your own. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And it seems like a small thing, but it's actually really devastating.
Yeah.
There are people that I still consider to be acquaintances, but I don't really talk with much anymore, because they have done things or said things or reacted in ways that let me know they're not down for changing. And I'm now at a point in my life where I can't exhaust myself trying to get them to change.
Yeah.
I have to move over to someone else, and I have to take care of myself first, because if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to end up, curled up in the fetal position under a blanket and not doing anything to help change anybody.
Yeah. Well, and I know, I mean, I saw it, like last time over the course of the past several months, I've seen how devastated you've been. And I do think I mean, I know it's weighed on me, and so I can't imagine being a person of color and seeing what you guys have had to experience and thinking, Not again. Here we are again." So I just can't imagine the drain, and that's part of what I want people to understand with this too. But I also wanna thank you because I think as I've seen you putting the words out there, I know in the past, I personally have always thought like, I could say the wrong thing. I don't wanna say something because what if I say the wrong thing? What if I and I think what I've started to realize is if I say the wrong thing, at least I'm trying. Um, and somebody like you who says, "I believe you have it in you to change," would not seeing that I'm willing to say something, you'd then be willing to say, "You know what? She's putting an effort in, and so I can tell her this is how to say the right thing." And so I think because of that, I've put a lot of effort myself into, Facebook posts where I'm like, guys, seriously, look at what this is. Hey, look at what this is. Look at what you're saying. This is where you do a little research and you can figure out what's wrong.
I
And
mean,
so
Google is free 99.
yeah, and I've been really trying to empower people to do their own, Here's how you research it. Here's how to think critically about it." And I've lost
Thank you very
people.
much for those posts because I've noticed those.
Well,
Thank you.
and
Thank you very much for that.
well, you're welcome. I don't feel like it's been enough, but at the same time, I've lost friends over it. I've had people that have been angry with me who are like, "You're so this or you're so that." And I'm like, if you don't like what I say and that's what you're getting out of this, then that's fine. And again, if you're I'm not going to change your mind. So if you're gone from my life, then that is one less strain on me. But I found more people reaching out saying, "Can you help me understand this thing? Or can you put me in touch with somebody who will help me understand something?" So I feel like the work that I have been doing is at least helping people understand there are resources out there and maybe that they're seeing things wrong or that they could be empowered to see things differently. And I wouldn't have done that if it weren't for somebody like you who has spoken up and said, "Guys, I need you guys
Mhm,
as as allies, as advocates to speak up more."
mhm. I
So
need
thank
y'all to do it because I'm
you.
tired.
Yeah.
I need y'all to do it because I'm upset. I need y'all to do it because I am this close to being done with y'all. I need y'all to do it because y'all need to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm personally, I'm willing to extend grace to folks if I see them making the effort.
Yeah.
Because there is one thing to say, tell me everything you know about, teach me everything you have about whatever the topic is. And in this case, race and race relations, race issues, or, tell me about your experiences. There's a difference between just doing that and taking that information and making switches in how you think about things or how you talk about things or how you interact with people. There have been people again who have come to me with, educate me,
Yeah.
which is now very much nails on a chalkboard to me.
Yep.
If someone says educate me, chances are highly likely I'm not going to educate you because you're just saying that because you want it, but you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like you, I've already seen you taking information and trying to do something with it.
Yeah.
So if you are taking that information and doing something with it and it happens to be the wrong thing,
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of power in being able to realize that you made a mistake and own up to it.
Yeah.
Don't just pass it off as, oh, hi, like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, own up to it, figure out what you need to learn from the mistake, and then move on with that better information from that mistake.
Yeah.
I I I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that because again, that's showing evidence and effort of wanting to make a change and putting in the work to make change, as opposed to other people who are just collecting information because it's the trendy thing to do right now.
Yeah.
Go allies.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, in my, I wrote my thesis on when Colin Kaepernick was named the face of Nike. It wasn't even that he was the face of Nike. He was part of the ad campaign for Just Do It.
Right.
People started. Well, I thought people were burning their Nikes. They weren't. I found like evidence that I could again count on one finger or one hand how many people actually burned their Nike products. It was people who are angry that he had a voice and was speaking out about racial injustice, and they just wanted people to shut up and dribble. And
Mhm.
so, it's
Shut up
been
and
really,
play.
yeah, it's just been wild to see.
Mm.
And my hope is that what I'm doing, for me, there's this intersection of, what I was doing in grad school, what I've been doing as a journalist, my sports background and loving sports and athletics. But then seeing that there really is a lot of injustice, and knowing that we have so much room to grow, and not just in Derby but everywhere, and that it's I just want people to see the stories that are out there. And so again, I think as for me as a journalist, being able to share your story has just I've told you for a long time, I've had you on my mind and I wanted to get in touch and everything. So I'm glad I finally got that, and had this opportunity. But
Go ahead.
the young ones are, a little wild today.
When folks ask for the opportunity to share experiences, be very mindful that for those who choose to share their experiences with you, there's a certain aspect of them reliving some aspect of the embarrassment, of the pain, of the trauma. Be very respectful of that, because they're opening themselves up to funky feeling that they may not necessarily want to experience.
Yeah.
But they're doing that because, again, of that hope that something good will come out of their negative experience.
Yeah.
And don't just collect. I don't want to say it with the kids in the room, but don't just collect trauma porn.
You go ahead and say they're gone. They're gone. So
don't just collect trauma porn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your story, there are going to be people that hear it and are like, yeah, that's my experience too. Or I feel that, and it hurts. And that trauma, I think, is something that people don't, you hear about people's traumas and everybody talks about, oh, I was triggered and things like that. And it gets laughed at so many times. And I don't think
Very
it should be laughed at. I think that people need to hear about others' traumas and go, that had to have been painful, and or relate to it in some way. Because, like, I might not have the history that you have of my ancestors being traded and purchased. But I hear that, and it's like, I as a human being can relate to the pain that must bring back for you. So I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about that, and I appreciate you sharing that story. I'm getting even misty-eyed. So thank you for that, and thank you for being vulnerable with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes.